Hey, what's up? This is Dilio, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am an independent artist and music producer, and today we're going to talk about cases, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're going to talk about two cases that I have in my possession. The first case is a Moog Gig Bag that I got from Moog when I got my first Moog, and how it ended up. And then we're going to talk about the analog cases version that fits the same synthesizer, and I think it's a cool product. You know, and I do have some critiques that I have, but they're minor. But this is just for those who are considering cases for their investment. If they're new to the Moog family and they bought their first Moog, I want to show them what case to avoid and what case that they may want to try. So we're going to switch over to the table and we're going to talk about these cases. All right, so what you see is the Moog Gig Bag. This was my first case, and I used to take this thing out to shows. And you know, the edges got frayed up a little bit, or a lot. As you can see, these edges, they frayed up. It had a little foam in there, and I was like, great, I can move around with it, you know. And I tried to do the whole fancy carry it on your shoulders thing and all that stuff, but as you can see on the edges here, these edges are, oh, let me make sure I got focus. Come on, focus. But as you can see, we got like kind of like these rough edges, and you know, so, and the problem is that when I move this around, sometimes the case would get dinged up. Nice bag here, convenience bag here. This was cool, and I had to retire this case, and actually I stopped moving around my Moog because I felt like I was getting tore up, because I'll notice certain kind of marks on the wood and on the aluminum finish. Wasn't too happy about that. Let's open that up and kind of show you the inside of it like this. So here's the inside of the case. It's kind of shaped like that angle of the keyboard. You know, the keyboard has sort of a funny angle to it, and then you kind of have these straps that can kind of go in to secure it, held by Velcro. But as you can see, the foam on the outside isn't a lot, but because I was a big Moog fan, I was very excited to have this case. But as you can see, there's not a lot of padding on there, so I just sort of used it to store the Moog. If I wasn't using it, I just put the Moog in there and put it away. But I was sort of kind of like, I'm not going to keep moving my keyboard around because I just don't feel like this is protecting it at all. You know, it's a very thin gig bag. So while in transit, you know, when you're tired from working at a gig, you know, for a few hours, and you're ready to go home, and you just want to lug this thing into your vehicle and go home, you still have to be very ginger about it because there's not a lot of protection here. But for the most part, it was fun. You know, I felt like somebody special. I had that Moog badge, so yeah, when you're walking around, you know, you're letting people know you got a Moog. You know, you had a little bit of a sense of pride for owning a American-built synthesizer. So, but this is going to be put to pasture. If not, it is already. So that's gone. Here we have the analog cases model. So I'm just going to show you my keyboard. Now, my Moog is actually wrapped in plastic because I do have to ship it out for repairs, and I didn't want dust to get into it. But as you can see, there's more of a harder plastic shell going on here, and then these pads are a lot firmer. There's a lot more foam on the sides here, and these foam inserts sort of wrap around the keyboard right there. So as you can see, when I take these foam inserts out, they're kind of thick. And I like that, and you can they got Velcro to kind of secure it, and it's interesting. I mean, if you wanted to wash these, you could, because there's zippers on here. I don't know where he got the idea to do that, because that's pretty doggone intricate. But now you can kind of protect that front key bed, and you got a lot more, so it's sort of floating inside. So no edge of the board actually reaches the outside of the case. You know, it's all insulated there. And then there's a soft foam kind of thing right here that you can maneuver around to make sure it fits, but it's sort of deep enough. I had to kind of move it up towards the front a little bit so that I could allow that to rest flush against there. Of course, I could just close it back up. And, you know, you have a larger bag here, which is good. You can store stuff right there. And then there is a smaller, you know, cables and whatnot, and then smaller bag right there. And of course you have the analog cases branding, which is right there. Kind of a cool suitcase style, but as you can see, I can push on this and it does give back a little bit, and it's kind of a deep dish kind of design there, as you can see. We'll make sure that keep yeah, as you see that, so you know it's right there, and I don't feel fear of moving it around because it has that deep size there. And then let's look at the back, because now my keyboard's upside down, but I don't feel bad about it because there's padding all over the place. So inside of this thing, and this is kind of dirty because I've been moving around with it already, but inside of here you have sort of these shoulder arm straps you can put around if you want to carry your nice heavy Moog around. And then you got kind of like a carabiner style there. Click that on there. Go back over here on this side, clip that right there, boom. You know, so you can strap this up on your shoulder if you want to, you know, look like you gig. You can look like you gig with this, but you know, I mean, it's kind of cute to walk around with a big heavy Moog on your back at first, but then after a while, it's like, you know what? I'm just going to use the handle. Now, there is an improvement on the handle. Right there, you could just store that right there. The handle, as you can see, is pretty doggone thick. You know, you don't have to worry about wrapping it or anything like that, because in the other bag, you have to zip it closed and then Velcro these together. But this handle is actually pretty thick and pretty substantial compared to that bag. And as you can see right there, it's pretty substantial. It's pretty it's kind of beefy. So, you know, I think I like it. And I guess the only thing I will want more is to have more of a hard case thing. So this is hard, but as far as weight going straight onto here, in case I want to lug this into a car and then put something on top of it, you can't do that because the weight of it is there. But if you're like going vertical into a car right there, you're good, just so as long as you're not getting smushed from this side, because that's where most of the exposure is. But on the perimeter of the outside though, you got a good level of protection there. It is give back, but it's not hard, so you know a certain amount of force will sort of kind of come in on this. But I definitely feel much more comfortable, you know, gigging if I want to take this out for a gig and really bring out the big guns. I think this case is really good, and it just so happens I have another analog case here, and boom, here's another analog case right there. And this is the for the mini Korg, micro Korg. I can't even say the name right. And you know, I'm moving it on top of my Moog. I'm not feeling like I'm damaging anything. 2 clips right there. Boom, there it is. And this keyboard suffered some scratches and stuff because I was moving this thing around and a keyboard stand got that. So there's cosmetic damage there, and this got damage there, but you can see that nice vocoder microphone is in there. My power supply fits up in there. This is a hard case, so you know I can load something on this, you know, reasonably and not worry about it. This is definitely something that has seen some scars. Like I said, I don't mind the cases getting scratched up. That's what they're for. You want these cases to get scratched up instead of your synthesizer. So that's the Sub 37 analog case. So as you can see, if you're seeing that Moog Gig Bag out in the wild, I would not advise purchasing that. It will get frayed up. I don't remember it being cheap. I bought it a few years ago, and I can't even find the order form in the email. And I know it wasn't a cheap bag because it was Moog branded. It was brand new, and the Sub 37 just came out, so it was still a relatively new keyboard, and they're still making Sub 37 special editions there. So it was a costly investment, and it just did not protect my keyboard very well in the wild. But this analog case, I like it. The only thing I wish it was like a full hard case, but outside of that, I think it was really cool. So let me know in the comments below. Are you interested in cases? Do you need a case for your synthesizer? What case do you need? Let me know in the comments below. And also the link to the website Analog Cases is in the description below. Check them out. They make cases for all types of gear like the MPC, all kinds of smaller keyboards, micro Korgs, mini logs, monologues, that size format, those Korgs, they got those. So check them out. I think they're pretty dope.